यशोदनन्दन व्रज जनरञ्जन यशोदनन्दन व्रज जनरञ्जन यशोदनन्दन व्रज जनरञ्जन यमुनातीरावनचारी यमुनातीरावनचारी जय राधा माधवा जय कुंज बिहारी जय गोपी जन वल्लभ जय गिरिवरधारी जय यशोदनन्दन व्रज जनरञ्जन यशोदनन्दन व्रज जनरञ्जन यशोदनन्दन यशोदनन्दन व्रज जनरञ्जन यशोद यमुनातीरावनचारी यमुना हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम राम हरे हरे सभी लोग गाना है हरे राम राम हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम हरे हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare. Jai Radha Madhava, Radha Madhava, Radhe. Jai Jagannatha, Jagannatha, Baladeva, Jai Subhadra. Jai Gaurang Nitai, Gaurang Nitai, Gaurang Nitai, Jai Gaurang Nitai. Srila Prabhupada ki. Hare Krishna. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So, today we will read 418th verse. I remember I was telling in the last class that we will read this verse. Is it visible for everyone? Karmanya karmaya pashed. Oh, it's very simple. Karmanya karmaya pashed. Okay? Karmanya karmaya pashed. Akarmani cha karmaya. Akarmani cha karmaya. Karmaya. Okay? Sabuddhiman manushyeshu. Sabuddhiman manushyeshu. Sayukta Krishna. Sayukta Krishna karma krit. Sayukta Krishna karma krit. Karmanya karmaya pashed. कर्मण्यकर्मयः पश्येद् अकर्मणि च कर्मयः अकर्मणि च कर्मयः स बुद्धिमान् मनुष्येषु स बुद्धिमान् मनुष्येषु सयुक्तः कृत्स्नकर्मकृत् सयुक्तः कृत्स्नकर्मकृत्. So anybody can, Prabhus, you can. कर्मण्यकर्मयः पश्येत् अकर्मणि च कर्मयः स बुद्धिमान् मनुष्येषु सयुक्तः कृत्स्नकर्मकृत्. Anybody else? ఇంకెవరైనా చెప్తారా? कर्मण्यकर्मयः पश्येत् अकर्मणि च कर्मयः स बुद्धिमान् मनुष्येषु. ఒక్కసారి ఎనీబడి ఎల్స్? ఇంకెవరైనా చెప్తారా? ఓకే, ఫ్రమ్ మాతాజీ సైడ్. कर्मण्यकर्मयः स बुद्धिमान् मनुष्येषु सयुक्तः कृत्स्नकर्मकृत्. कर्मण्यकर्मयः पश्येत् अकर्मणि च कर्मयः स बुद्धिमान् मनुष्येषु सयुक्तः कृत्स्नकर्मकृत्. Anybody wants to say? Karmani. You can repeat after me. Karmani, in action. Akarma, inaction. Okay, inaction, okay, means in the karma. Okay, and akarma means inaction. Ya, one who pashyet, observes, akarmani, in inaction, cha, also, karma, fruitive action, yah, one who, saha, he, buddhiman, is intelligent, manushyeshu, in human society, saha, he, yuktaha, is in the transcendental position. Kritsna karma krit, although engaged in all activities. So translation goes like this: one who sees inaction in action and action in inaction is intelligent among men, and he is in the transcendental position, although engaged in all sorts of activities. Purport by His Divine Grace Abhay Charanaravinda Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki jai. A person acting in Krishna consciousness is naturally free from the bonds of karma. Bonds of karma. When I read, you should understand. Bonds of karma means what? Bond. Matlab kya hai? What is the meaning? James Bond. What do you remember? Bond means Fevicol bond, you can remember. If you put the Fevicol, then it will not come out. So, Here, bonds of karma means what? Bonds of karma. You can tell. What is bonds of karma? Yes, Prabhu? हाँ? किए हुए कार्यों से जुड़े हुए हैं. अच्छा तरीका से बोलना है. एक ही सेंटेंस. हाँ? कर्म बंधन. सिंपल. आप कुछ, when you do some activity, there will be a result and you are bound to that result. You are bound. Bound means रस्सी से बांधा हुआ जैसे. Okay, you are tied to that result. You cannot run away from it. When you are bound, you cannot run away. So similarly, that action which will bind you. His activities are all performed for Krishna. Okay. Again I will read. A person acting engaged in all sorts of activities for Krishna. Akarma means without reaction to work. The impersonalist ceases fruitive activities out of fear, so that the resultant action may not be a stumbling block on the path of self-realization. But the personalist knows rightly his position as the eternal servitor of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Therefore, he engages himself in the activities of Krishna consciousness. Because everything is done for Krishna, he enjoys only transcendental happiness in the discharge of this service. Those who are engaged in this process are known to be without desire for personal sense gratification. The sense of eternal servitorship to Krishna makes one immune to all sorts of reactionary elements of work. Okay? We will recite these prayers. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya. मैं इतना जोर से बोलता हूँ, आप लोग इतना हाँ. Why like that? You didn't had any breakfast? After lecture there will be lunch. So take out your energy, recite loudly. Sanskrit is something, it purifies our existence. So we should, if you go to any old time gurukuls, guru will say something and children will shout. Even in our childhood, when we were learning teacher will say and a whole class will loudly say isn't it? And then our learning was quick. So say loudly. When we sing loudly. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Gnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Sri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kada Mahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guroh Shri Yutapadakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Sri Vishakhanvitamscha हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधो दीनबंधो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमोस्तुते तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। नम ॐ विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिनिति नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। मूकं करोति वाचालं पंगुं लंघयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुं दीनतारिणं परमानन्दमाधवं श्रीचैतन्यमीश्वरम्। हरे कृष्ण। या सो कर्मण्य कर्मयः पश्चेत् अकर्मणि च कर्मयः सबुद्धिमान् मनुष्येषु सयुक्त कृत्स्न कर्मकृत्। वेरी नाइस थिंग। See here, three words we all should understand very clearly. One is karma, other one is vikarma, third one is akarma. Okay? Last class also I have explained. So what is karma? Karma means what? Work that we do is karma. An activity is karma. Or an action is karma. Any action is karma. So here from the word action, what you gain? Action. Action se kya hame? In cinema also we say action, right? In drama also we say action. It's not real. Okay? Understand, it is not real. It is only action. So all our activities are only actions. Is it real? Okay. When you are in sleep, do you do something? In the sleep, in your dreams, you don't do anything. You go to a movie theater, or you may meet someone or sometimes some tiger is chasing you and you are running. Do you do some activities in the sleep? Huh? Some action is going on in the sleep, but it's nothing. It has got no value, isn't it? Similarly, even the activities that we do in this world are also actions. In English, अच्छा word use किया, actions. Karma के लिए translation is action. Really it is not anything, but these actions will have some reactions. Even though we do action, we will have reactions. So whenever there is reaction to an action, then it can be categorized as karma. But when it is, the action is performed in accordance with the scriptures, then it is called sakarma. Okay? If we elaborate, it is called karma or sakarma. In accordance with the scriptures. What are the scriptures? According to Vedic literatures. Not any scripture. Actually, English word scripture comes from scrolls. Olden days, when they write something, they will write it on a silver leaf. Okay? They'll make a silver sheet, and on that silver sheet they will engrave, and after that they will roll it. Okay, that is called scroll. Okay, Sri Sri Radha Madhav ki jai, Sri Sri Jagannath Baladev Subhadra Maharani ki, Sri Sri Gaur Nitai ki jai. Now also in computer or in the mobile, scroll down, scroll up, we say. So scrolling means what? Rolling. Okay. So these rolls, they will store it in some caves and all. So the biblical, actually I don't use biblical. Olden people, they used to write and they will put it in store. And later people found them in due course of time. So they were called scrolls, and then if you compile all these scrolls, that became a scripture. Okay? But Vedic literature is not anybody written, but it is coming from the Supreme Lord, and it is put into writing form by the great sage Vyasadeva. Okay? So according to his teachings, if anyone follows and do actions, that is called sakarma, or you can say karma. And if anyone is doing actions against those principles, okay, then what is that called? Vikarma. It's a bad action. Okay? It's not good action, it is bad action. I do it. Just do it. People print on t-shirts. Just do it. So then when you just do it, then it need not be in accordance with the scripture. It can be called vikarma. So this vikarma and sakarma, both of them will have reactions. Okay? If it is a good activity, there will be good reaction. Bad activity, bad reaction. So most of the people do only these two kinds of activities. Okay? So they fail to understand akarma. Akarma means, karma means action, akarma means no action. Okay? But here in this context, it is inaction. Inaction means no action. Inaction means what? There is no activity there, in one sense. But in this context, it's an action, but it doesn't produce a reaction. That is called akarma. Okay? Suppose like, how can I say, some of the actions, for example, we are all sitting and listening to Bhagavad Gita class. What is the reaction for this? There is no reaction. Okay? No one pays any money back to us. There won't be any punishment. There won't be any reward also. Oh, these people have attended Bhagavad Gita class, so we will give some reward. And do you expect anything in return? You also don't expect anything in return, right? So this kind of activities are called akarma. Okay, another example I'll give. Maybe I have this. A cashier sits in the counter, in the bank counter. He takes lot of money and he gives out lot of money. What is easy? Is he doing anything for himself? Does he get any money in return for that? Salary, you put the salary aside. But he is not actually taking anything to him, nor giving anything from him. Okay? Even though from morning to evening, he is dealing with the cash. So much cash is getting transacted through his hand, but he gets nothing. Not a single penny he gets. Isn't it? That means he is not dealing with cash. In one sense, he is not dealing with cash. What is he dealing with? He is dealing with numbers. For him it is not cash. 1,000, give 1,000, 10,000, take 10,000, 15,000, 1 lakh. All these numbers only are going on for him. He is not seeing that as cash also. Isn't it? So this is called akarma. So here, Krishna is telling, where is that verse? Yeah. Sayukta Krishna karma krit. Even though he is engaged in all sorts of activities, when we are living here, what all kinds of activities we are engaged in. Like, we go to school, we learn, we take bath, we maybe we get degrees and then get married, have children and raise children and do our jobs and so many kinds of activities we do. And if we are yuktaha means, in one sense, it is in connection with the Lord. Okay? Here you see word to word meaning, in the transcendental position. Okay? Normally we are all in physical position, like material position, bodily conditioning. We think I am. Always we will be with that ego. And we don't go above that. Quite often we always think, me, mine, my body, my requirement, my mind says so, my problems, and so on and so forth. All the day we think of ourselves. Many times people ask questions, there also, how I, how me, all these things come. But yuktaha means actually we just leave this me and enter into the domain of Krishna. That is transcendental position. We connect ourselves with Krishna. Okay? We join with Krishna. So with that position, you do all kinds of activities. When you do all kinds of activities in that condition, all your activities will become inactions. Okay? Now you see how he does. Karmani, akarmani, akarmayah pashyet. Karmanya karmayah pashyet. So he sees inaction in action. Okay? One who sees inaction in action. So, like, getting married is, for example, is an action. Getting married. Now, in that, how do you see inaction? It's an action, right? My God. It's a full-blown action. Marriage ceremony. People send crores of rupees in wedding ceremony, isn't it? At least even person who is having 1 lakh rupees, he will spend 10 lakh rupees. Person who may have some 5 crore rupees, he will spend 7 crores or 10 crore rupees. And in end of the marriage, they will be in debts generally. Whoever it is. So such a full-blown activity, but how we can see inaction in that action? How can we see? So, can anybody explain? Seeing inaction in that full-blown action. How can we see? Yes, Mataji? It's very difficult, right? Because we never have this experience of seeing inaction in action. We are always busy with actions. Every time action, activity should be there. We can't sit even idle. So for that what we should do? First sayuktaha. That person, he raises himself to the transcendental position. Okay? Yuktaha means he connects himself with God. So why is he getting married? We have no clue actually. Why are we getting married? No clue. Everyone gets married left and right, but they don't have any clue getting married. Long ago, there was Kardama Muni. Okay? Kardama Muni does tapasya to please Krishna, Vishnu. And Vishnu is pleased and he appears. What did he ask, you know? What did he ask from the Lord? No one knows that story. So you all should read Srimad Bhagavatam. Bhagavatam, 3rd canto, this story comes. Lord, I want a wife. It appears very funny, isn't it? But he asks, I want a wife. Such a great person who is already in the transcendental position. He has pleased the Supreme Lord. Supreme Lord personally appeared and to him he asked, I want wife. And now is that action or now asking for the wife is action or inaction? If I ask, it will be an action. But such a great person is asking in the transcendental condition. It must be in action. So why did he ask wife? So he wanted to engage in the devotional service. Service is performed better in the assistance. Alone is difficult. So that person who sees, I need an assistance to render service to the Supreme Lord, he goes and marries, and that marriage, even though it is performed very opulently, very luxuriously, but because he is connected to Krishna, his wedding is in action. Okay? You understand this point? For himself, he is not getting married. He is getting married. He is getting married to serve the Supreme Lord. Okay? He is getting married to please his ancestors. Okay? The generation should go on. So, when he performs the action in that consciousness, then that action becomes inaction. For him, if he is getting married, then it becomes an action, karma, and that karma will have its reaction. So, here the whole point is, we should raise ourselves to transcendental position. Means we should always dovetail our activities with Krishna. हर चीज में कृष्णा से संबंध करके काम करना चाहिए. If ever we do our actions for our own self means for us self is this body. For us self is my family, my village, my nation, what all. This is my. But they are all physical. Okay? But for God, then it becomes spiritual. Now, he sees inaction in action, like this, by being in the transcendental position. You follow me? Cashier sits morning to evening, it does so much of transaction of money, but no money is going into his pocket. No reaction. End of the day. In the same way, an army person also he is given a gun, he is given bullets, he is given a bulletproof and so many things. What he does? He kills so many enemies. And is there any punishment to the soldier? Anybody punishes? No one punish. Even if he is caught by the opposite enemy, they will not punish him for killing. They may punish him because he is an enemy. But they will never ever punish him because you killed our 100 soldiers or you killed one soldier. No. It's legal to kill the enemy soldiers in a war. Isn't it? If he is not killing, then he will be punished. So even though there is an action, but actually we see inaction in that action. Because he is not working for himself, he is working for the country in that context. And this cashier is working for the bank. And a transcendentalist works for Krishna. He will not work for himself. So, does it mean he is working for Krishna, so he will not feel thirsty, he will not feel hungry, and he doesn't need to take bath, and he doesn't need to sleep? Is that so? Washroom and all the needs will be there, and he does all those activities. But is he doing all these activities for himself? No. Because his ultimate goal is already connected with Krishna, even all these activities also, all these actions become inaction. Means, even though he is performing so many varieties of actions, he remains in inaction. He is doing akarma. His actions are all akarma, no reactions. He is not bound by his karma. There is no shackles of karma. Karma bandhan won't be there. Now the second point is akarmanicha karmayaha. Akarmanicha karmayaha. Seeing the akarma in the karma. Akarmanicha karma. So people are doing so much activity, and then a transcendentalist, a person who is connected with the Lord, he sees these people are all wasting their time. Suppose Bill Gates is working so much day, night, working so hard to make some billions, and a sadhu looks at him. क्या फालतू में समय गवा रहे तुम? You are wasting your time. What's the use of all these billions? You are a useless fellow. You are a fool number one. It will be a shock to Bill Gates probably. But for sadhu, he is not doing any activity for his benefit. For his benefit, he is doing nothing. All his actions are useless and futile. This is what? Seeing the inaction in the action. There used to be a king. Once we did last year Jagannath Rath Yatra, our devotees did one nice drama. Who is the fool? So the gist of the drama I will tell you. There was a king who used to be very proud for his accomplishment. And is always boasting himself, and he never shows interest in reading Bhagavad Gita or hearing about Gita. What is the use of Gita? I am doing so much of charity. I am opening hospitals, and I am planting the trees on the roads, and so many punya karmas I am doing. Why we should do the devotional service? So like that he keeps on telling. So one sadhu regularly visits him, and then he will respect the sadhu, but he will never listen to sadhu. He will never listen to a shloka of Bhagavad Gita. And sadhu understands this very, very serious case. It needs to be addressed very deeply. So what he does is, he employs one of his disciples. Okay. So he tells him what to do, and then he sends, and then at the same time he goes and visits the king, and he will asked for a boon from the king. What is that? See, I have one danda. Okay? A very special danda. Danda means a stick. And please give this stick in your kingdom to the most foolest person. Whoever is the most fool, you should give this danda to him. Okay? And then he will keep the danda with him until he finds bigger fool than him. Okay? If he finds someone who is more, I don't know how to say in English, murkha, maybe better murkha, higher murkha than him, he will have to give it to him. Until then, he has to carry that, and then you must take care of that murkha all his life. Okay, the kingdom should take care of him. Small, wish. One person you can take care, one murkha you can take care, isn't it? Okay, I will take care, don't worry. Sadhuji, don't worry. One person easy for me. Then that sadhu gives the danda to this king, and then he walks off. And then king gives that danda to his soldiers, and then he will tell, search for the topmost fool and give it to him and inform me who is that fool. Then I will monitor, and if we find bigger fool than him, then we will give it to him, or he will give it to him. Then they will all around move around the kingdom, and one person act really foolish. Who was that person? The disciple of this sadhu. Anything you ask, he will purposefully give ulta answers and so many things. And then it goes on like that. And then the king's people realize that this fellow is the most foolish person. Murkhati murkha. So they'll hand over the danda to him. And then whatever is required, food and all, food, shelter will be taken care. And this fellow will take that danda and behave foolishly wherever he goes, because he has to keep that danda with him. If he behaves intelligently, then that will be taken away. So he really behaves foolishly. Time goes on, and then one day the king becomes old. He becomes so old. He is almost on the verge of the death. And then this Mahamurkha, he comes there to greet the king. King, where are you? He says. Then king says, I am going. Where are you going, king? Can I also come? No, you cannot come with me. Oh, you must be going then. You are not taking me, but you must be taking your wives, beautiful wives. You have so many beautiful wives. You must be taking them with you. No, I am going to such a place where nobody can come. Then you may be leaving even your princes, queens and all, but you must be taking all your wealth. Then king says, no, I can't take that wealth. That cannot be taken. I have to go alone. Then like that he will ask so many questions. And in the end, he make the king realize that he cannot take anything. Okay. Then he says, this Mahamurkha will says, king, please take this danda. You take this danda and keep it with you. Who holds that danda? Who is really Murkha? Mahamurkha only can keep that danda with him. And this Mahamurkha is giving that danda to the king. King will be really shocked. And how can you give this danda to me? This is supposed to be with the Murkha. That means you are making me Murkha. Am I the Murkha? Like that he is old, but still he raises his voice and tells. Then that Mahamurkha says, yes. Why not? You did so many wars and you worked so hard to maintain the kingdom. You fought with so many kings to win over these queens in so many Swayamvaras, and you expanded your kingdom at the cost of your life, at the cost of so many of your soldiers. You amassed so much of wealth. You have constructed beautiful palace for yourself to live, and you are leaving everything and going. Are you not a murkha? What bigger evidence you need to prove that you are a murkha? You are fool number one. You are worse than me. So better you take this danda with you. I am going. Take the danda. I am going. Then king realizes, yes, I worked so hard. I did so many things in my life, but I'm not able to take anything. That means what? He did so many actions. But what is its value? Nothing. Its value is nothing. So in all materialistic activities, a transcendentalist, sa means he. Yuktaha means the one who is connected with the Lord. A sadhu, let us say. A sadhu sees nothing in those things. He sees no value in those activities. That's why it is inaction in the action. Okay? Now, action in inaction and inaction in action. These two things, the one who sees with the right perspective, he is, even though he does all kinds of activities, he is not bound. So, in our life, do we want to be bound or do we want to be free? See, the disadvantage in getting bound is, disadvantage I am telling you. To fulfill those bondages, okay, suppose you did a good work and for that you have to be born very beautiful or very handsome, very rich. You have to live a very comfortable life according to your previous karmas. But for that also you have to take birth. Isn't it? And is the birth very peaceful and very pleasant? Is the birth pleasant? Is the birth pleasant to anyone? Mothers will know, how terrible a baby's birth is. Baby has to struggle so much to come out of the mother's womb. And then after that also he can't do anything. If he doesn't cry, somebody will beat and make him cry. Normally, naturally, a child will cry. He will not come out with laughter. And then the minute you take birth, other problems will follow. There can be disease. Everyone will have experience of disease, with no exception, right? And then as you grow old, you will experience the effect of the old age. And then now we have many times experienced the death, but at least we feel by looking at others' experience, death is dreadful. Even if you don't see, we already had experience. That's why everyone will fear to the death. But it is imminent. It is inevitable. So even though you do so many punya karmas, these 4 problems will not go. That means it's not an intelligent proposition to take birth also. To take birth is not an intelligent proposition. Forget, in good family, in king's family, as a very intelligent person, as a good brahmana, whatever it is, there is trouble in taking birth. Okay? So that's why actions will always lead to troubles. They're good or bad, no matter of what. That's why no bondage, better not to be bound by the actions. So for that, we have to raise our consciousness. We have to be in Krishna consciousness. Krishna consciousness means not ISKCON. Okay? Krishna consciousness means being conscious of Krishna, being always aware of Krishna, being always connected with Krishna. Okay? This is a society where we cultivate that culture. Okay? Krishna conscious culture we cultivate here. So, when we live a life of inaction, then no bondage. When there is no bondage, then no need to take birth. We are taking birth because we are bound. We have some leftover desires, I want this, I want that, I should have done this, I could have done that better. You think, that means you are bound. Huh? But when you are connected with Krishna, you are the only instrument in all your actions. Huh? Instrument will never think, a needle will never think that, see how nicely I am sewing. A veena never thinks, see how nicely I am playing. Does veena plays? Veena is being played. You understand? Veena is being played. A needle is being sewed. Needle on his own, it does nothing. Wherever you keep, he will be there. But he is in the hands of a weaver. A veena is in the hands of a musician. Then veena plays nicely. So, as far as veena is concerned, it should be free from all the repairs, all the buttons, all the strings should be well upright. Then veena can perform well when it is in the hands of a musician. So similarly in our life, we should make our life clean and put in the hands of Krishna. And then Krishna will make us do all the activities. Then all our activities become inactions. Understand this? I don't know how much I am able to explain this. I remember we used to have this in our non-detail in intermediate second year, 12th class, from Swami Vivekananda writings. Action in action, inaction in action was there. Our English lecturer has taught us lesson. And then every year we will have one question in English. Definitely it will come. So I remember mugging up whole one paragraph and then vomiting in the paper. Okay? I would have got some marks and got passed out. But never understood this concept. But after so many of years of learning from various devotees of Krishna consciousness, I tried to present this. I hope you have understood. If anyone has any question, please feel free to ask. Okay, we have maybe 5-10 minutes. Sri Radha Madhav ki, Sri Gaur Nitai ki, Sri Jagannath Baladeva Subhadra Maharani ki, Nitai Gaur Premanande. Anyone has any questions? How do we get motivation if we... Okay, if everything is in action, what is the motivation? Right? Yeah. Veena is a dead thing, so, but we are not dead, isn't it? What is the motivation? When everything is for Krishna, then what do I do for myself? Actually, here is a, what do you call? The flavor of Krishna consciousness, the great taste in Krishna consciousness, or the secret of Krishna consciousness. When you do for Krishna, when Krishna is pleased, we are automatically pleased. Very simple. If a wife does everything for herself in the home, it looks so obnoxious, right? It is so abnormal. Wife does everything for herself. She is so much worried for her clothes, for her sandals and for her makeup kit and so on and so forth. She hardly thinks about her husband. But same wife, she does everything for her husband. She wears nice clothes to please her husband. She do all her activities. She does same activities actually, but for husband. Okay? What is the motivation now for the wife? To please her husband. That's it. She does everything to please her husband. And when she is pleasing her husband, she is pleased automatically. Husband takes care of her nicely. She doesn't have to think about herself when she does all activities for husband. So for all of us, who is the husband? Krishna. He is Pati, Pita, Mata, everything. So when we do, our motivation is to please him. And when we please him, we don't have to think about our own self. We don't have to. Biggest mistake we do is we think. Let Krishna think about us. Let us not think about ourselves. Let Krishna, let him do his job. Let me do my job. My job is to please him. And this is the secret of Krishna consciousness. And who understands this secret, he will be dedicating his life for serving Krishna. It appears he is doing the same activities, but actually he is doing for Krishna. And any wife, any good wife, does normal activities in a home, right? She does all activities normal, but in the core of her mind, she always thinks of her husband and then does all her activities for pleasing her husband. She keeps house neat and clean and tidy. She organizes everything systematically. She cooks nicely. She worships Krishna there in the home. She does so many activities, but for pleasing her husband. And then her life is really heavenly. She'll be very nicely taken care. She doesn't have to think about herself. This same thing, the same analogy applies. The motivation is, one is to please Krishna. The next level of motivation is to purify our own existence. If I do an activity for myself, I am inflicted with karma. Danger. I am going to entering into a danger zone. And when I do for Krishna, I am free from all the reactions, and it leads to my purification. My heart gets pure, become pure. Heart gets purified. That's the motivation. As per as my understanding from my different gurus from whom I learned. Make sense? Any other question, please? Yes. Can you pass on the mic? Yeah. You can just speak for everyone. That good question. So here Krishna in the scriptures he has given various types of activities assigned. Okay, a housewife should be like this. Krishna is assigning, for example. So when you abide those norms and then follow, then you are doing it for Krishna. Like you are following the discipline that is given by the school, right? So the discipline you are following for the school. The school management is given you discipline, you follow. Then school is pleased. That means you are working for a school. For your pleasure, you may want to do any activity, but you don't do it for the sake of the school's rule, right? So similarly, Krishna wants us to be clean. Okay, Krishna wants us to be austere. Krishna wants us to be compassionate. Okay, Krishna tells how a wife should be. So just you follow that. Krishna tells how a husband should be. Just you follow that. So then your life is for Krishna because you are following the rule given by Krishna. Krishna tells how a Brahmana should be. Krishna tells how a Kshatriya should be. Krishna tells how a Vaishya should be. All the rules are given in the scriptures. Then you follow them. Then your actions will become inactions. Like a king, how he should rule the country. If he rules according to the laws given by Krishna, then even though he is a king, dealing with so many political things, all those activities becomes inaction. You understand? The same thing is applicable to a student, as to a housewife, to a old person, everyone. So for that we should learn some scriptures. I mean Bhagavad Gita at least we should learn from the proper source. Then we understand. That's why these classes are being conducted, and we have Srila Prabhupada has made this association so that we can learn from each other. The elder people will teach to the younger people. This culture is being created by Srila Prabhupada, and it's age-old culture. Unfortunately, the modern society, we are all misguided, and we are drawn into a wrong civilization. So we can again re-embrace this culture, these values, this knowledge of Gita. Yes? Any other questions? If not, yes? On cheyandi. It will come.
Yeah. I have one small question. Like, when we are fulfilling our duties 100%, and when we put our 100% efforts to our husband and to the home completely, then the negativity and the forces around us and coming and distracting the husband and the home. Like, how to tackle that? Like, how without any disturbances in the home, how to tackle that and how to move forward in the future or in the daily life?
See, I have given husband for analogy. Okay? So, in that analogy, as a housewife, one will do activities for pleasing her husband. The higher analogy is you do your activities for pleasing Krishna. So, for pleasing, when Krishna is pleased, when a wife pleases husband, Krishna is also pleased. Okay? So, in that consciousness you do, then why are you so much worried of negativity? Negativity comes when you are in the center. When you are in the center, then only negativity will come. You keep yourself away from the center. You are not in the center. Krishna is in the center. Okay? Then there is no negativity. You are doing your duty. Whatever result comes, you are not bothered. There is neither negativity nor positivity. Okay? You are in the transcendental position. See, negativity, positivity is on the material platform. Right? I am mentally disturbed. Generally, it's not only you, almost everyone will have these problems. Because you think you are serving husband, but actually you are not serving husband, you are serving Krishna. When you start serving Krishna, for serving Krishna you are serving husband. Okay? Then you are not disturbed. You are connected to Krishna. Krishna will take care. But we unfortunately be on the material platform, and you expect, when I serve my husband really should reciprocate, and he should take care of the family and myself and my relatives and everyone nicely. This is our expectation. We are on the material platform. But we should connect with Krishna. So, what Krishna is telling me to do this, I will do it. Okay? And then what is the result? You are not so much bothered. You have done your job well. And then you keep yourself aloof from the result. Whether your husband is pleased or not pleased, or sometimes they may criticize and so on and so forth, you don't get disturbed. You have done your part. Right? So that is what is Karma Yoga. You do your job, no expectation of result. And there is some trouble. The trouble is given for our purification. Okay? You develop, over a period of time. We are all immature people. Over a period of time, when you practice this, you become matured. And you will learn to be indifferent. This is very important. When you learn to be indifferent, then your life is successful. When you are getting affected means we are yet to be matured in this science. So our focus should not be to come out of these disturbances. Our focus should be how I can transcend from these disturbances. Once you rise above these disturbances, and all these disturbances appears very minuscule, chota sa lagta hai, and you will be above. And we should rise like that, in that direction. I hope I have answered you, but
Yeah, like one more question. Like, suppose a working woman is there, like she will be having the equal responsibilities to the job, kid, and husband. So there are three responsibilities she has to fulfill. So definitely she can't I can't give complete 100% to my job, or complete 100% to my kid, or complete 100% to my husband. It will be equally sharing among all three. So when you are still serving among all three, in the house or in the family, if still she's not getting the enough support emotionally or mentally, like how we have to move in that.
No, you have chosen a life, you're destined to suffer. We are all choosing a life, we are destined to suffer. We know of everyone's limitation. It's practically impossible to handle all these things. But we are choosing that. Who is asking you to choose like that? But we are choosing, or this civilization is forcing us to live a life like that. So it's up to us how we want to live. Unfortunately, society, everyone is misguided, and that misguided civilization is forcing everyone to work so hard, day, night. Not only women, even men also, so much stressed. Recently one bank employee committed suicide, just he was not able to handle the pressure. Just because he was not able to handle the pressure, nothing else. Otherwise, he had nice wife, nice children, everything. So, we are misguided. We think only when I have job, I will be taken care. Otherwise, if you are having such a strong faith, I don't want to shatter that faith. But there are so many alternative ways of life, and we can live like that. But now we are increasing day by day dependency more and more, and then as much you are dependent, that much you will become anxious in the life. So we must seriously think about it, and then look for some alternative way of life which is given by Krishna. This kind of life is not given by Krishna. None of the Krishna's wives were working. Do you ever see, like one of the Krishna's wife was going to office, or any of the ladies of the Yadava family? But we are all, I'm telling you very openly that we are living in a misguided civilization. I'm not finding any individual's fault, but we are drawn into the materialism, and then they are showing wrong thing to be a right thing. But there are so many right things are there which we are missing out, and because of that, we would have, by having them, we would have really saved from so much of misfortune. This, you can think of alternative way of life. We can live happily. You will not have to take so many pressures. At least you no need to take so much pressure. As much you can handle, that much you can take. Okay, so think about it. I don't want to change anything, but at least have some correct philosophical conviction. Then you will find the answers in due course of time. Try to learn Gita well. Yeah. Okay, we'll stop now. Thank you all very much. Granthra Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki, Srila Prabhupada ki, Nitai Gaur Premanande. I thank all of you very much for patiently waiting.